Hello students, good afternoon. You are welcome in the lecture number 11 of MST CET of a chapter of chemical thermodynamics. In the last lecture, we have seen enthalpy of formation and enthalpy of combustion. And in this lecture, we are supposed to continue with these points and complete these points so that the chapter of chemical thermodynamics will be completed. We have to study Hess law of constant heat summation, then spontaneous or irreversible processes, entropy, gives a free energy and gives function and equilibrium constant. So let us see it one by one. First one, Hess law of constant heat summation. According to this law, the enthalpy change during chemical reaction is always constant, independent of number of steps present in the chemical reaction, or whole enthalpy change of chemical reaction is equal to the summation of enthalpy changes in individual steps of the reaction. Let us consider the general chemical reaction A converted to B with change in enthalpy minus X. Then B converted to C with a change in enthalpy minus Y. So what is the net reaction? We have started with A and we have the reaction end with C. So if we add these two reactions, A is converted to C and the change in enthalpy is minus X minus Y. Because B is intermediate, that is cancelled as a reactant and product. So A is converted to C, that is the net reaction. Whenever A converted to C in the one step process, change in enthalpy is minus X minus Y. Similarly, whenever A is converted to C by these two steps, that time also change in enthalpy is minus X minus Y. Therefore, enthalpy change during chemical reaction is always constant, independent of path followed by the change, and that just depends on initial state of system and final state of the system is known as Hess law of constant heat summation. Hess law of constant heat summation can be stated as the enthalpy change during chemical reaction is constant, is the summation of enthalpy changes during individual steps of the chemical reaction. That is Hess law. Now see spontaneous or irreversible processes. The processes which are taking place on their own accord without taking the help of external energy is known as spontaneous process. The process which is taking place on its own accord without taking the help of external energy is known as spontaneous process. And these spontaneous processes are irreversible processes. They are taking place in only one direction, only forward direction. They are irreversible processes. Let us consider the example. Whenever NaOH added to HCl acid base, they undergo neutralization reaction NaCl plus H2O. Heat is you have. This reaction takes place in only one direction, spontaneously, immediately. As soon as NaOH and HCl are added together, immediately they will form NaCl and water. But backward reaction of NaCl plus water to give these reactants is not possible. Therefore, this is known as a forward spontaneous reaction taking place in only one direction. If we see rolling of ball take place from higher level to lower level. Suppose this is the ground, here is a ball. This ball comes down on its own accord and settles here at equilibrium position. Rolling of ball from higher level to lower level is taking place with decrease of energy, and that is a spontaneous process. Flow of water, always flow of water take place from higher level to lower level. So flow of water from higher level to lower level take place with decrease in energy, and water becomes stable whenever it comes in the dam. Whenever it comes in a dam, it is stable because it has attained the position of equilibrium. If we see the example of flow of heat, we have studied take place in unidirectional manner from hot end to the cold end. If we take the example of hot tea taken in a cup releases heat automatically. So loss of heat there is a spontaneous process. See, all these processes are irreversible spontaneous processes because they are naturally occurring processes. They will not require the help of external energy, and all these processes have tendency to lead to the state of equilibrium. They have a tendency to lead to the state of equilibrium. Finally, they will attain the state of equilibrium. They are known as spontaneous processes. And how these processes are taking place? This is exothermic, taking place with loss of energy. Rolling of ball, higher energy to lower energy. Flow of water, higher energy to lower energy. Flow of heat from hot end to cold end. All these processes are taking place with loss of energy, release of energy. Therefore, it is considered that spontaneous or natural irreversible processes are exothermic processes. It is considered that spontaneous processes are exothermic processes. But if we see the example of ice, whenever ice kept open in the atmosphere, it is converted to liquid water by absorption of heat. Ice absorb heat and converted to liquid water. So what is the nature of this process? Is it exothermic or endothermic? Endothermic. But still it is spontaneous process. Why this is spontaneous process can be explained with the help of concept of entropy. That is explained with the help of concept of entropy. Now see what is meant by entropy. Entropy is measure of disorder present in the system, measure of randomness present in the system. Whenever entropy increases, measure of disorder or randomness also increases, and that process becomes spontaneous. So let us see what is entropy. Suppose we have this solid In solid, molecules are very close to each other. Molecular distances are very less. Molecules are very close to each other. Whenever it is heated, molecules go quite away from each other and disorder increases. Molecules will move independent of each other. Randomness increases, disorder increases whenever solid is converted to liquid. Therefore, conversion of solid to liquid is spontaneous process. Solid to liquid, it is spontaneous. Why? Because entropy increases, disorder increases, or randomness increases. Further, whenever liquid is heated, converted to gas, gas molecules are far away from each other and those gas molecules are continuously present in a random motion. Gases are continuously present in a random motion. Therefore, entropy of gases is maximum entropy, maximum disorder. For example, if we take the case of calcium carbonate, solid converted to CaO solid plus CO2 gas. What happened here in this reaction? Solid is converted to gas. From left to right, entropy increases. Entropy indicated by delta S. It is positive change in entropy. Solid to liquid, positive entropy. Liquid to gas, positive entropy. Gas to liquid, negative entropy. Liquid to solid, negative entropy change. So here for forward reaction, entropy change is positive. For backward reaction, entropy change will be negative. If we take iodine, solid, converted to iodine gas, what is the change in entropy? It is positive. Because solid is converted to gas, the molecules which are close to each other are converted to the molecules which are far away from each other, and these molecules are continuously present in a motion. So randomness increases, entropy increases, and it is stated that with increase in entropy, spontaneity of the process goes on increasing. That process will become spontaneous whenever entropy increases. But here also see one fact. If we see the example of H2 gas plus half O2 gas converted to H2O liquid, for this reaction, H2 gas plus half O2 converted to H2O liquid, gases converted to liquid, delta S is negative and it is minus 327 kilojoule. Minus 327 joule per degree Kelvin. So is it spontaneous or non-spontaneous? This must be non-spontaneous, but it is a spontaneous process, naturally occurring process. Formation of water take place by combination of hydrogen gas and oxygen gas naturally. So why this is spontaneous? For that purpose, second law of thermodynamics has given the explanation that entropy of system plus surrounding continuously increases. During a spontaneous process, entropy of system plus surrounding, summation of entropy of system and surrounding goes on increasing. Continuously it increases. That is the explanation given according to second law of thermodynamics. Here, for different processes in which phase transition take place, entropy change can easily be come to know. whether the entropy change is positive or negative, that will easily come to know whenever phase transition takes place. But the reactions in which phase transition is not present, for those reactions entropy delta S is given as Q reversible heat absorbed in reversible manner to the absolute temperature. Here, whenever heat is absorbed by the system, molecular motions increases. Molecules will come into motion. Motions increases. Movement increases. Therefore, randomness increases. So, entropy is directly proportional to heat absorbed in reversible manner. But whenever heat is added at high temperature, the change in entropy is less. If heat is added to the system at low temperature, entropy change is more. Therefore, entropy and temperature are inversely proportional to each other. Entropy and heat absorbed are directly proportional to each other. For this reaction, this is the entropy of system. And according to second law of thermodynamics, delta S total should goes on increasing, that is equal to delta S of system plus delta S of surrounding. Delta S of system is minus 327. But delta S of surrounding is, since this is negative, surrounding is positive. This is minus 327. This is plus 1919. How this factor comes, that we have studied in detail. That is, delta S will be equal to minus into again minus delta H upon T, that become plus delta H for this reaction is 572, 000 divided by temperature 298, and that comes equal to 1919. That we have studied in detail in the regular syllabus. So this summation comes to be positive. Therefore, this reaction is spontaneous according to second law of thermodynamics. But to find out this value is highly difficult. To find out this value is highly difficult task. And scientists are interested in the chemical reaction in the system rather than surrounding. Therefore, in order to avoid this type of the task, Gibbs Helmholtz have developed a function known as Gibbs free energy. So let us see the fourth point over there. What is that fourth point? Gibbs free energy, in which concept of enthalpy as well as concept of entropy is explained. That is given, Gibbs free energy given by equation G is equal to H minus Ts at constant temperature. This equation become delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S, where delta H is change in enthalpy. This is a change in enthalpy and this is a change in entropy. So both enthalpy change as well as entropy change is considered according to Gibbs free energy in order to identify the spontaneity of a process. According to second law of thermodynamics, suppose this is equation 1. According to second law of thermodynamics, we have seen delta S total is equal to delta S of system plus delta S of surrounding. If delta S of system is positive, that system or process is spontaneous, and at that time this will be negative. Therefore, delta S of surrounding is considered to be minus delta H upon T, or it is nothing but minus Q reversible upon T, and Q is heat absorbed, therefore minus delta H upon T. So substituting this in this equation, it becomes delta S total is equal to delta S plus into minus delta H upon T. This delta S indicates that it is the entropy of system. Even though this is not indicated here, SYST, I have not written here system, but still it is considered that this is the entropy change of system. This is surrounding. If nothing is indicated, that is the entropy of system. On solving this, or multiplying both sides by temperature, left side is T delta S total will be equal to T delta S minus delta H. Both sides we have multiplied by temperature T, and this is the equation. Or this equation I am writing in one more format. If I write negative, this is negative. This is also negative, and this is positive. So what it becomes? Left side minus T delta S total is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Let this is equation number 2. Now see, right side of equation 1 and right side of equation 2, they are same. Therefore, left sides are also same, and delta G is equal to minus T delta S total. Since temperature is constant, delta S is negative. At that time, delta G is, it is the delta G positive. See, delta G S negative, delta G is equal to minus temperature into delta S again negative. Minus into minus plus, so delta G will be equal to positive. If delta S is positive, at that time delta G is equal to minus T into plus, at that time delta G will be equal to negative. And from these two, one can identify the spontaneous or non-spontaneous process. It is considered that if delta S is negative, the process is non-spontaneous, means for a non-spontaneous process, delta G is positive or greater than 0. On the other hand, if delta S is positive, at that time delta G will be negative. Delta S is positive means the process is spontaneous. Therefore, for a spontaneous process, delta G must be negative. So that is how, on the basis of Gibbs free energy, by considering enthalpy as well as entropy, concept of enthalpy as well as concept of entropy, the spontaneous and non-spontaneous reactions are easily identified. There is no confusion at all, which is there in case of enthalpy as well as in case of entropy. All those limitations are overcome by using the Gibbs free energy. And last one, Gibbs function and equilibrium constant. For a chemical reaction, directly Gibbs has given relation delta G is equal to delta G naught plus RT ln Q. Here Q is the reaction quotient. Reaction quotient is nothing but a concentration of product upon concentration of reactant. The ratio of concentration of product to the concentration of reactant is known as reaction quotient. Reaction quotient concentrations may be same or may not be same as that of the concentrations at equilibrium. This is the relation. But whenever the state of equilibrium is maintained, at that time reaction quotient become equal to equilibrium constant, and at that time delta G is equal to 0 because the reaction is at equilibrium. Reaction is neither spontaneous nor non-spontaneous. It is stopped. Process is stopped at equilibrium. Therefore, at equilibrium delta G is 0, and at that time reaction quotient is nothing but the equilibrium constant. Substituting here, 0 is equal to delta G naught plus RT ln K, and from this delta G naught will be equal to minus RT ln K, or delta G naught will be equal to minus 2.303 RT log to the base 10 of K. Using this equation, one can calculate equilibrium constant. K is equilibrium constant. K is equilibrium constant, and delta G naught is gives function, gives free energy under standard state conditions, under standard temperature. So that is there. About these points we have covered. Hess law of constant heat summation, spontaneous processes, entropy, gives free energy, and at last gives function and equilibrium constant. Now let us see some multiple choice questions. Now see questions from critical thinking. The book we are using is same one, Target publication book. See question number 78. For the change H2O liquid to H2O gas at 1 atmospheric pressure and 373 Kelvin, the free energy change delta G is equal to 0. This indicates that, see, they have given the reaction H2O liquid converted to H2O gas at pressure 1 atmosphere and at temperature 398 Kelvin. This is the reaction they have given at 373 Kelvin and 1 atmospheric pressure. And under these conditions, delta G will be equal to 0. So what it means? What we have studied, see that once again. We have seen that if delta H is negative means less than 0. It is negative means less than 0. This process is spontaneous. If delta H is positive, what is meaning? It means it is greater than 0. Positive is greater than 0. This process is non-spontaneous. And if delta H is equal to 0, this is the process at equilibrium. At equilibrium. Similarly, we have seen the conditions for delta S. Delta S greater than 0 means positive. This is a spontaneous process. If delta S less than 0 means negative, this is a non-spontaneous process. And whenever delta S is equal to 0, that is the process at equilibrium. Here they have given delta G 0. For delta G also we have seen the conditions. For a spontaneous process, delta G should be negative, means less than 0. For non-spontaneous process, positive means greater than 0. And at equilibrium, delta G also 0. Condition of delta H and condition of delta G for spontaneous and non-spontaneous processes are same. Now see the options. Option A, H2O liquid is in equilibrium with H2O gas. That is correct. Option A is correct. H2O liquid is in equilibrium with H2O gas because under these conditions change in Gibbs free energy is 0. So option A is correct. See question number 79. The incorrect statement among the following is, which is the incorrect statement? First statement, when delta G is equal to 0, the system is at equilibrium. That is correct. If delta G is 0, the system is at equilibrium, stopped. That is correct. Secondly, when delta G greater than 0, the process will be spontaneous. Delta G greater than 0, is it spontaneous or non-spontaneous? Non-spontaneous. Delta G less than 0, spontaneous. Greater than 0, non-spontaneous. But here they have given delta G greater than 0 and the process is spontaneous. So that is wrong. And we have to identify the wrong statement. Therefore, option B is correct. Now question number 80. The enthalpy of vaporization of substance is 840 joule per mole. See here, entropy. They have given the enthalpy of vaporization, delta H of vaporization they have given 840 joule. And its boiling point minus 173 degrees Celsius. Temperature minus 173 degrees Celsius plus 273. So it is equal to plus 100 Kelvin. Celsius we have converted to Kelvin. Calculate entropy of vaporization. Delta S we have to calculate Q upon T, or that is delta H upon T. Delta H is 840 divided by 100. So 2 decimal left side, 8.4 joule per degree Kelvin per mole is the answer. 8.4 joule per degree Kelvin per mole. So first option is right. Option A. Now question number 81. Calculate the free energy change for. We have to calculate the free energy change for one reaction. They have given one reaction here. The reaction is 2CuO solid giving Cu2O solid plus half O2 gas. For this reaction, delta H is given, temperature is given, and delta S is also given. So here delta H will be equal to 145.6 unit is kilojoule per mole. Temperature 300 Kelvin and delta S will be 116 joule per mole per degree Kelvin. This is kilojoule and this is joule. So convert kilojoule into joule so that we can substitute over there in that equation, or we have to calculate delta Z is equal to delta H minus T delta S. So delta H, convert it in the joule. 145,600 minus temperature 300 into this factor 116. Do the multiplication of this one, and then this factor minus this factor, this will be bigger. See the approximation. 300 into 116. This will be 348. 16 3s are 48, and 100 3s are 300, and then 2 zeros. Here it is 145600. Which one is bigger term? This is bigger. So subtract second from first one. Give the sign of first. Whatever the answer you are getting, that is the answer in joules. Convert answer in the kilojoule depending on the options. Here they have given options in the kilojoule. If we solve this, we must get the answer 110.8 kilojoule. First option is correct. This minus this subtraction, you are getting answer in joule divided by 1000. You will get answer in the kilojoule, and that answer should be equal to option A, 110.8. Now question number 82. The standard heat of combustion of solid boron is equal to solid boron standard heat of combustion. We have to calculate enthalpy of combustion. Boron on combustion gives boron trioxide. Reaction 2B plus 3O2 giving 2B plus 3/2O2 gives B2O3, boron trioxide. B2O3, boron trioxide. This is the reaction of combustion of boron. We have to calculate standard heat of combustion of solid boron. This is known as enthalpy of combustion of boron, or also known as enthalpy of formation of boron trioxide, because 1 mole of boron trioxide is obtained. Suppose delta H, let us consider, for this formation will be 100. How many boron atoms undergone combustion? 2 atoms. For 1 boron, what is the combustion energy that time? 50, half. So half with the negative sign. Therefore last option is correct. They have given option second, but that is not correct. Here last option is correct, because enthalpy of combustion is always negative. Now question number 83. See here, question number 83. In a reaction, normal egg converted to hard boiled egg, delta S is normal egg. In which state egg is present? Liquid state. Whenever heated, boiled, we will get the egg in solid state. Liquid is converted to solid. What is change in entropy? Whether entropy disorder increases or decreases? Entropy decreases. Disorder decreases. Randomness decreases, because liquid is converted to solid. In liquid, molecules are away from each other. They are moving. Randomness is more. Motion is more. In the solid, motions are stopped. Therefore egg in the solid state has less entropy. In liquid state has a greater entropy. Therefore, change in entropy will be negative. Delta S is negative. So option C is right. Question number 84. If 900 joule per gram of heat is exchanged at boiling point of water, then what is increase in entropy? Entropy we have to calculate. Delta S Q upon T. 900 joule per gram. 900 joule per gram. How many grams of water are present in 1 mole? 18. Joule per gram is this one. For 1 mole, 18 gram divided by at boiling point of water 100 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius means how many Kelvin? 100 plus 273, that is 373 Kelvin. And if we solve this, we must get the answer almost equal to 40. We should get the answer equal to 40, or let us see here 900. So that will be 900 into 20, 18. 10120, 18,000. Almost this will be 18,000 divided by 400, 0000. Then 4 4s are 16, 2 is there, 4 5s are. Answer we are getting close to 45, and they have given only one option close to 45. See, without logarithm also we can perform the calculation. Do the approximate calculations and find out one of the option which is close to that approximate option. And here option A is close to that. We are getting 45 approximately, and the correct option they have given 43.4 joule per degree Kelvin per mole. So option A is right for question number 84. Now 85. Question number 85. 9 gram of water is vaporized at 100 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure. If latent heat of vaporization of water is X, then entropy delta S is given by 9 gram of water is vaporized at 100 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure. If latent heat of vaporization of water is X, then delta S is given by, see what is the delta S Q upon T? X for 1 mole. For 1 mole means how many gram? 18 gram divided by temperature. How much temperature they have given? They have given 100 degrees Celsius, that is 373. For 18 gram, this is the entropy change for 1 mole, that is for 18 gram. And here they have given how many grams? 9 gram, means half of this. Therefore this is multiplied by half. Or answer will be 9x divided by 373. So in that format they have given option D. Last option is correct. Question number 86. In which of the following entropy decreases? Decrease in entropy. In which of the following entropy decreases? Option A, crystallization of sucrose from solution. That is right. Crystallization of sucrose from solution. Solution is liquid. Crystallization take place means liquid sucrose is converted to solid, and whenever liquid is converted to solid, change in entropy is negative. so entropy decreases, and they have asked in which of the following entropy decreases. So option A is right, crystallization of sucrose from its solution, option A. Now question number 88. The essential condition for feasibility of reaction is that, which are the conditions for feasibility? Means spontaneity we have studied. On the basis of enthalpy there is a limitation. If enthalpy is negative, enthalpy change is negative, the processes are spontaneous. But there is limitation. Therefore we have switched on to the entropy. If entropy change is positive, that reaction is spontaneous. But there is also limitation. So we have switched on to the Gibbs energy. And there is no limitation for Gibbs energy. All spontaneous as well as non-spontaneous processes are explained with the help of Gibbs energy, and those processes are spontaneous in which change in Gibbs energy is negative, or whenever Gibbs energy decreases, the process is spontaneous. So see the options. Option A, reaction should be exothermic, but limitation is there. B, entropy of product must be larger than that of reagent. This is correct, but there is the limitation for entropy. C, the reaction is to be accompanied with decrease of free energy change, and there is no limitation for decrease of free energy change. So option C is correct for question number 88. Here we have seen 2, 6, then 7, 8, 9, 10 questions from critical thinking. Now see some questions from competitive thinking, that is questions from exam. From competitive thinking, see question number 72. Question number 72. The unit of entropy is, here is equation of entropy. Its unit Q is heat joule per mole divided by temperature, means per Kelvin, joule per mole per Kelvin, or joule per degree Kelvin per mole is the unit. Now see which one is correct. Option A is joule per mole, B joule Kelvin per mole, C joule per mole per Kelvin. So option C is this one. For question number 72, option C is right. That is this one, joule per degree per mole per degree Kelvin. Question number 73. Considering entropy S as a thermodynamic parameter, criteria for spontaneity of process is. What is the criteria for spontaneity? On the basis of entropy, change in entropy should be positive. Ice converted to liquid water whenever placed open to the atmosphere. Naturally, ice is converted to liquid water whenever placed open in the atmosphere, even though that is endothermic but spontaneous. Why spontaneous? Because we have studied entropy of the process increases. Change in entropy is positive. So see the option, delta S of system greater than 0, delta S of surrounding greater than 0, delta S of system plus surrounding greater than 0. So option C is right. We have seen, according to second law of thermodynamics, entropy during spontaneous process goes on increasing continuously. Therefore, summation of entropy of system and surrounding is greater than 0. Now see question number 74. Adsorption of gases on solid surface is generally exothermic because, see, suppose this is the solid. Whenever gas is added, formation of bond take place. Formation of bond take place. This is gas and this is solid. When formation of bond take place, energy is released. Release of energy take place. Therefore, delta H is negative. But there is formation of bond between gas and solid. Therefore, randomness of gases decreases. Here gas molecules are continuously present in motion, but whenever they come close, they are bonded to the solid, their movement is stopped. Therefore, entropy decreases. Gas is almost converted to solid there, no doubt that is gas, but that is fixed to the solid, so movement is stopped. Therefore, entropy decreases. So which is the correct option? Second option, B is a correct option. Entropy decreases whenever adsorption of gases on solid surface take place. Now see question number 76. Values of delta H and delta S for different reactions are given. They have given 5 reactions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Delta H and delta S they have given, and on the basis of these values we have to find out which of the process is spontaneous at all temperature. For a spontaneous process, we have seen delta H is negative, then delta S is positive, and delta G is negative. So delta H and delta S they have given. See, delta H is negative in the second case. So second reaction is spontaneous according to enthalpy change. But entropy is positive. Entropy is also negative. Since entropy is negative, the second process is non-spontaneous. So second is wrong. Fourth option, enthalpy is negative and entropy is positive. So this reaction number 4 is spontaneous at all temperatures because delta H is negative and delta S is positive for reaction number 4. So option D is right. Reaction 4 is spontaneous. Let us see one more question. Question number 77. Which of the following statements is correct for spontaneous adsorption of gases? Adsorption of gases. Spontaneous adsorption of gases. Which of the following is correct? Option A, delta S is negative. What is it? Is that delta S negative or positive? Negative, right? Delta S should be positive. That is wrong. Option B, delta S is negative and delta H should be highly negative. So second is right. Delta S is negative for adsorption of gas because entropy of system decreases, and enthalpy change is also negative because heat is released. Therefore, for question number 77, second option B is right. So with that, here we have taken 10 questions. These are 5. So almost 15 questions from spontaneous process we have completed, and with this we have completed the chapter of chemical thermodynamics. We have completed this chapter from all angles, from all aspects. We have taken numericals, we have taken multiple choice questions. So study this chapter carefully. This is important chapter from the point of your competitive examination.